Back there it was really bad, and yeah, it's just getting worse and worse here. How awesome is this? Totally just flying over in the middle of Ecuador. It's awesome. So awesome. The town of Coca, and we are heading to the town of Puyo, which is about 5 hours away. So we've got quite the drive today, and it's cloud cover, which means I might hit rain on this drive. I hope not, but we'll see. Now, when I came into Ecuador, I got a visa for 90 days, which is a normal time for a visa to be given for a tourist. And customs also gave me 90 days for the motorcycle. But here's the skinny. If the motorcycle is in Ecuador longer than 90 days, then they charge $400 per day starting on day 91. So I have 90 days in order to find remote places, go fly, and get this bike out of Ecuador. Oddly, I didn't need it for the paramotor because they didn't check any of my luggage, and I went through some crazy hoops in order to hide the drone because I wasn't exactly sure like what the drone rules were in Ecuador. So yeah, but they didn't check my luggage. They didn't check what this big gigantic thing on the back of the motorcycle is. They didn't check anything. They just said, hey, give me the VIN number of the bike, give me the license plate, and you have 90 days to get this bike out of here. Otherwise, we're going to charge you a fortune. Now, I'm not going through the touristy regions, which is Quinto, the mountains, and then the playa or the beach. I'm staying on the far east side of Ecuador because it's where the most of the flatlands are, because this channel isn't about, hey, look at this beautiful waterfall. This channel is about finding a place to fly and then flying and just kind of living the adventure. What you're going to see is not very touristy, but what you're going to see is very unique, and not a whole lot of people get to see it, especially from the air. On to Puyo, and the office today is pretty good. I have a cloud cover today, but my desk is full of green plants and a wonderful road that isn't well traveled, so off we go. I think we're going to be hitting some mountains today. I'm hoping not a whole lot, because as you can see, it's a little bit of a drizzle, and I'm worried about the clouds in front of me that I'll actually start hitting rain. But for now, we're okay. Just trudging through the jungle of Ecuador. By the way, if you look on a map to see where I am, I'm heading from Coca to Puyo, or Puya, P-U-Y-A. So, however you pronounce that, I think it'd be Puya. But, I mean, look who you're asking as far as how to pronounce map cities, or cities in general. I don't know why I said map cities. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Look at this. Huh? The road is oh God. The road is atrocious, but the view is very nice. Oh, look at this, huh? Looks like I have an upper floor at the office today. Getting there though, there's no elevator because I'm having to take these stairs. Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Another beautiful day at the office, and man, what a wonderful ride today through the jungle of Ecuador. Alright. Well, the road is going from bad to worse. Back there it was really bad, and yeah, it's just getting worse and worse here. So these guys fix the road, or pretend to fix the road, so you'll give them coins. Oh, look at this. Wow, look at that river. Yeah, so hopefully this is not going to be like the same road going into Macoa from Pasto, but it's starting to look like it. It's progressively getting worse, and no hopes of it getting better. So this might be a little bit longer drive than I expected today. Wow, look at this, huh? Welcome to the jungle, baby. Welcome to the jungle. It's so thick. I mean, just imagine being an explorer back in the day and having to, and this isn't thick because this is a little town that people have cleared out. But in some of these areas, it's like, I can't imagine being an explorer and having to like be the first one to, you know, trudge through the jungle with a machete and try to figure out which way north is, because the sky is so full of clouds, and I'm sure it's full of clouds quite often because it rains a lot here. Obvious, you know, obvious. And the indigenous people here are so resourceful. They're making their homes out of, you know, whatever they find. Pieces of wood and bamboo. This one looks modern, actually. It's kind of like a barn type house, but as you go across some of these huts, it's like anything and everything that'll make a wall and a roof. The air is so clean. I can't really explain what the air is like. It has a smell that's very pure and clean. And look at the rivers, and it's just gorgeous. Oh, wow. Wow, that was an amazing waterfall. I know I said earlier, like, this is not the channel for, like, checking out waterfalls, but check out that waterfall. Well, we've reached civilization again, which is good news. And we're down in, I don't know, I'll call it the plains. It's not really the plains, but it's not mountains. It's the area that I looked on the map in my awesome map skills, which are not the greatest, to find an area where there's no mountains or less mountains. Now, we'll see if I did better than I did when coming into Pasto. I hope my map skills have improved a bit. We'll find out, but because we're heading down and we're already away from the big mountains that we saw back there, I'm thinking the potential to fly tomorrow morning is looking really good. You know, since coming to South America, I really feel like I've gone back into the 1980s. Like the boys back there sitting in the back of the truck while their dad just drives them down the road. This was a common thing that we all did in the 80s. I mean, that's how I grew up. We just hopped in the back of the truck. It wasn't a big deal. It was a much better time. And cash is king. Here and in Colombia, cash is king. Yeah, sure, you might have a debit card, but there's a lot of places where it's good luck finding anybody who'll take a debit card. I mean, most of these little towns, there's nobody's going to take a debit card. You're not going to find an ATM. You got cash, you got money. You don't have cash, you don't have money. And I kind of like it. Things are just simpler. Things are just better. Technology, yeah, sure, it's great. It allows for a YouTube channel. But honestly, it's not that great because it robs you of something. It steals from you some freedoms. And I don't know, maybe technology made Karens and these helicopter soccer moms or, you know, whatever. You know, these freak out people who, oh, you know, you can't have your kids in the back of a truck, or I don't know. I miss that freedom a lot in the States, and I don't see it anymore. That freedom is gone. Too many people are panicking about other people's well-being. I fed my dog the pill of society a long time ago, and there is no way I am ever going to let somebody tell me who I am, how I should live, what I need to do, or where I need to go. I am a free man. I will always remain a free man. I have the best day job in the world, and that's taking you guys to crazy places with the paramotor on the back of a motorcycle. And I love it. I love it. I love it. The goal is, and the goal has always been, drive somewhere and find a place to fly that nobody has ever flown before. I know that there's a lot of choices on videos to watch on YouTube, so I'm telling you, I am extremely grateful that you gave me your time today to watch this video. If you like my content and you like this adventure, or you like the idea of what I'm doing, please take the time and just subscribe. This adventure is just getting better and better and better.
I needed to stay in Puyo for a couple of days in order to get some general maintenance done on the motorcycle. And while I was there, the indigenous people of this region of Ecuador were celebrating their independence with a parade. One by one, each tribe would dance or sing or walk through the streets in celebration of their peoples, their heritage, and their freedoms. After the parade, I took a short drive north to a town named Fatima, where I found a soccer field I could use to enjoy the beautiful area from the sky.
Well, once again, welcome to Ecuador. It's beautiful here, isn't it? It's really jungly. It's like motor out, and there's going to be some issues. So let me get some altitude before I do anything. This right here is the little town of Fatima, and that over there is the town of Puyo, or Puyo, P-U-Y-O. Technically it's pronounced Puyo, which is chicken. And I just noticed I forgot my reserve. Dang it. Well, no fooling around today, because no reserve is, I have a hard rule that if I don't have a reserve on, I'm not going to be fooling around. So we'll just enjoy the beautiful view here. Look at this. Look at how beautiful Ecuador is. The mountains way, way, way in the distance. Those are the mountains that I drove through on the way here. These mountains to my left are the ones that I was trying to avoid, and I did, because this starts the chain of a lot of mountains. If you go over these mountains, you reach the city of Quito. It's pretty far away, but it's definitely over those mountains. And this, my friends, this is what the jungles of Ecuador look like. I appreciate you coming on the adventure with me. And one more on the checklist. We've now flown where no one else has flown before, in Fatima and Puyo, Ecuador. We should go down a little bit, though. It's just that if I have a motor out, I gotta keep these little hills in mind, because it's my only safeguard. How beautiful is this? How wonderful to not just be able to take a motorcycle somewhere, but then to be able to grab a paramotor and to fly where nobody else has ever flown before. How wonderful is that, huh? I cannot thank my God enough. He has blessed me immensely just to be able to come here and show you guys all of this. And it's so beautiful. I mean, look how lovely, and it's so lush, I guess is the word. It's so lush. Fauna everywhere. As far as you can see, it's nothing but fauna. And then, you know, once in a while you have a city like the one right in front of me. By the way, Puyo, that city is 90,000 people, so it's not really that big. But they did have 95 octane gasoline, believe it or not. So of course I bought some for the paramotor, because I've been feeding the paramotor junk lately, because that's all I could find was just unleaded. So corriente as well. And so just by feeding the paramotor junk, I knew I needed to find some good stuff. And I was very surprised that they had 95 octane in this little town. I haven't found 95 octane in, like, I don't know, 6-7 weeks now. Now, I don't know if it's on the American standard or the European standard, and that's a big difference, but enough about gasoline. How about we just enjoy this beautiful flight over Ecuador? Oh, and by the way, my phone cracked, and the screen broke, and because it fell off the motorcycle, and so I dropped it off at a service place here in Puyo, and they have it for a day. They said it was very complicated and it took a day to fix, so I have no phone. So if I go down, I have no way to call anybody either. Lovely. No reserve, no phone. But yeah, we're only here once. Let's have some fun. How awesome is this? Totally just flying over in the middle of Ecuador. It's awesome. So awesome.
In every town that I go at, I always meet someone special and someone who immediately becomes my friend. And in this case, there's no difference. I'm in Puyo. It's Puyo, but it's pronounced just like the name chicken in Spanish. And this week, I've met Kevin, and I've met Mauricio, and I've met Angel, and I met Diego, and they're the painters of the building across the street from me. But the special friend that I met this week was Angelo. Angelo's the guy who fixed my motorcycle. He did the oil change and he cleaned it for me, and he did some other work as well. And the unique thing about Angelo is that he's a migrant from Venezuela. He came here as a migrant and he started working, and after he fixed my motorcycle, the next day I was heading down to get some food from a restaurant, and it just so happens that the waitress at the restaurant was his wife, but I didn't know it. And she came up to me and she asked, "Hey, did you have a beer with my husband last night?" And I said, "Well, who's your husband?" And she said, "Angelo." And I was like, wow, that's a small world. In a city of 90,000, imagine meeting someone's spouse and them knowing you before you even knew them. Kind of unique. I don't usually show my friends on camera because unfortunately I don't speak the language. My Spanish is absolutely horrible, and I usually have to use a translator app in order to talk. But I thought I'd share Angelo with you. And I don't know how much we're going to capture on film because, again, everything has to be done through my cell phone, through the translator, because my Spanish is absolutely horrible. But here's my special friend in the chicken town, Puyo.